What if there was a simpler way to install your projects and also simplify the end user life? What I mean by this is that when we're doing a project, there's a lot of components. You have cables, cameras, NVRs, but what if everything was together? And this is actually what we're talking about today, which is the SolidEDGE technology from Hanwha that is everything inside one simple camera. By everything, I mean that you have your storage in terabytes inside the base of the camera, and you also have a VMS license, their Wisenet WAVE, that enables you to connect to an additional 5 cameras to this camera. So this camera acts as the brain of your system. Let's get to it. We'll review everything there is to know about the SolidEDGE technology. So before we actually explain the SolidEDGE and what's inside the camera, we're gonna look at what's inside the box, because when you see this, you may think it's a camera kit with like 16 cameras inside, but no, it's only this bad boy right there. So what comes inside the box of a SolidEDGE camera when you buy it? First off, you have all sorts of cables. We have the speaker, microphone, and alarm cable that comes right here. So everything is included that goes on the camera module. You also have a video cable that you can connect to the camera module. Nothing special here. Regular tool when you need to unscrew your dome or put it in. And you have some IP66 covers for your cable, so when you install them, you can put them inside the bottom of your camera. You also have an adapter for your power supply. And all this, comes with a plan. So normally you would stick that on the wall or anywhere you want to install the camera to kind of guide you through the installation. So I'm gonna push everything to the side so you have a better view on what's coming next. Simple junction box that you have with the camera that comes right here. As you can see, everything is in metal in this build. If I'm not mistaken, everything is IK10, really resistant, so really nice. We love that. Another nice addition, you don't normally see it comes with many cameras, is your sun rain cover. So it comes included in the package of the SolidEDGE. And now, before we get to the bad boy, lastly, we have the dome. So it is hard coated, again, to be sure it's scratch resistant, not much glaring. So really, again, great quality of product right there from Hanwha. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the dessert. So we talked about SolidEDGE, but I wanted to show you guys that it's also their modular kind of camera. By modular, I mean that you have here a little pull that you can actually remove the camera module from its base. And this base acts as your NVR. So this is where all the magic happens. So if we turn it around, so inside here, you have your WAVE Wisenet license. So this is where all the cameras gets connected to it. And if you switch it around, this is where you have your SSD. Right now we're playing with the 1 terabyte version of the SolidEDGE. You have your magnet to connect the camera module to the base. And here you have a air vent to prevent any kind of humidity that would accumulate inside the base itself. Here you have your data port that connects the base with the camera module. And here it's for your cable to go through. So again, we showed them earlier that are IP66. Now, if we look at the camera module itself, so I'm gonna push that to the side. So it's a regular camera, but what is nice about it is this one has an image sensor of 2 megapixels. You have a varifocal lens, but if you want to change it, that's something you can do. So if for an application I'd like to have maybe a 4K camera, well, I can buy another camera module that I can put in the base of the SolidEDGE camera, and it becomes the main NVR, if you'd like. On the camera module itself, note that it is PoE+, so if you want to have the maximum functionality inside the camera, use a PoE+ switch. In the front, you have your alarm and audio connection, your 12 DC output. If we look on the other side of the camera module, you have 2 slots for micro SD cards. You also have your varifocal option to change the focus of your camera, your reset button, and also the video port. One thing I forgot to mention that is on the front, and it's kind of a nice feature because we don't see it that much often. In the RJ485 port, it's already it's metal shielded to help with any kind of electromagnetic interference. So now, how do you put it back? As I said, there is a magnet inside the base and behind the camera itself. So all you need to do is kind of align it. It's pretty easy because the form fits perfectly. And there you have it. You have your camera that is installed and you can put it, well, as you like. Now, let's plug it in and see what's inside the camera for real. All right, now, when we want to enroll a camera, so kind of start the SolidEDGE technology in the camera to have access to the WAVE VMS online, you need a few steps before. First off, please download the Wisenet Device Manager on the Hanwha website. We'll put a link in the description below, so it's going to be easier for you to follow along. When you get inside the Wisenet Device Manager, it will ask you to create a new project, and when you create this new project, you will be able to enroll your camera. Now, we already have a new project, but I'm just going to create a new one so you guys see it. So new project, I will call it Pipl Systems with Hanwha. Apply, you create a secured password, and by secure I mean more than 8 characters, please. If you haven't seen our video on hackers, you understand why you need more than 8 characters in your passwords. Then you click on search. If you are in the same IP range, the camera will appear automatically. If you are not, you can go inside the add device and add the camera manually. So maybe you want to change it to DHCP IP mode or something like that. Now, by default, Hanwha cameras don't have any kind of password, so you need to create one yourself. So you select the camera, you go in credential on top, logging, change password, and here you create your new password for your camera. So there we go, our Pipl secured password. And you can see on the top right of that screen that the password was set with success. Okay, so now we can close the window, and now you have the check mark appear, logging status is okay, so you can access the web live view of your camera. And you can see the camera model right next to it. So we're dealing with the SolidEDGE PNV-A61R with 1 terabyte. We didn't mention it before, but this camera actually is a motorized varifocal with 4mm up to 9mm focal length and 2 megapixel. As I mentioned before though, it's a camera module, so you can change it to fit better your needs. All right, now that everything is set up on that end, we're gonna access the web viewer. So you double click on the camera. They will ask for your username. By default, Hanwha has admin as the username. You enter the password you set before, and you sign in into the camera. One thing to note here is that the SolidEDGE camera was not made for web viewing. That means that you don't have access to any kind of playback when you go on the web version of the camera. You can do live viewing, so if you look at the bottom left of your screen, you have a capture, so you can take a snapshot of your screen, and you can also record your screen, and it will save it on the laptop, PC, desktop that you're using right now. But it is important to go on the web viewer to activate your WAVE license and also to set up some settings. So you click on the cogwheel on top. From there, you have many options, but again, since we're not going to spend much time using the SolidEDGE with the web viewer, we're going to do the basic for this camera, which is set the right date and time. On our case, we are dealing with Eastern time, and right now it's daylight saving time. You click on apply to make sure that everything you do actually goes through the camera. This is done. As you can see, the image was flipped and mirrored, so we're gonna change that too. you can go on video audio, click on video setup, and here we're gonna flip and mirror the camera. This is something you can do on the WAVE VMS, but since we're here, we're just gonna do it right away. Now, see, the image is much better. I have less nausea all of a sudden. All right, and last step, and the most important one, is to activate your WAVE license, because we're doing all this to be able to access the video management system. If you don't do that, well, you cannot plug in the other cameras in your system. So you go into Event, you click on Software, and here you see your SSD is ready, your partitions are ready, but the software is ready to use. So you click on Start, and you leave it for a couple of, I think it takes normally a minute or instant like this. Well, I'm glad it worked. And now your VMS is ready to go. From there, you can close your web viewer, and now you will need to install the WAVE Sync, so Wisenet WAVE Sync application to be able to access your VMS. Again, the link will be on the description below for you to download. All right, now we are on the WAVE VMS interface, so Wisenet WAVE from Hanwha. Normally, what you would need to do here is connect to a server and enter your credential. Now, we already did that part for you guys, but trust me, it's pretty much click, 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 and you're done. So now you access the server that is based on your camera. So you're gonna use your normal login, admin, but this time the password is different. It would be the passwords you set up for your server. So accessing the server and the camera are two different logins. So keep that in mind. Now we're entering our secured password. We click on connect, and we have access to the WAVE VMS. So now you know how to create a server for your SolidEDGE camera, and trust us, it's not more complicated than this. Just download the right tool, again, they're in the description below, and you will be able to set it up. And this is one thing we really like about this camera, is everything is integrated in it. We'll do a more deeper dive about the Wisenet WAVE VMS in another video. We wanted to keep this one short, but be sure we'll show you how to access the playback, how to download the playback to your PC, laptop, server, whatsoever, and also how to activate motion detection. All that kind of stuff will come in another video. This one we want it short. And we also show you how to actually connect your mobile app to your WAVE license, because this is another thing that is inside the application. So what do you think? Please leave us a comment below if you think this is a trend that is coming in the security world. So kind of removing the NVR out of the equation to simplify the life of the installer and the end user. There is a common example that goes around that says that every intruder that comes in, the first thing they're looking for is the NVR, because this is where the storage is all placed, right? But having it inside this, so you put the camera and the storage is here, I doubt they will find it. So it becomes really helpful also in that situation. So if you're owner of a small retail shop, a coffee shop, and you wouldn't do an installation, well, you can hook up 5 additional cameras to this one, and why limit yourself? You can even buy another SolidEDGE camera and just build up a whole system inside your WAVE VMS. So it becomes a nice tool to have. My honest opinion is I think we will see more and more different technology of the SolidEDGE, and maybe it's gonna be a trend. I don't know, because you still have the NVR, which is a hardware, so you have a whole control of your storage. And this, well, it's based in the cloud. I know cybersecurity is becoming more and more secured in that field, but it's different. Let's see how the manufacturers react to that, because again, it's about the end user. It's about what they would like to have installed. So leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think about this technology. Like and subscribe to see the others video coming up on how to use the WAVE VMS and how to download the mobile application of the WAVE VMS. See you on the next one.